I want to ask you a question. Who's coaching you? Who's asking you the tough questions? Who's telling you, man, you're the common denominator to all of your issues and challenges? Who's telling you, man, all day long you become the magnetic pulse that attracts to you both good and bad? I want to be your life coach. I want to be the one that cheers you on to the finish line. I want to be the one that you ask the tough questions. And it doesn't mean that I have all the answers, but that means that you have a partner, someone who believes in you, not the you see right now, but the you can't imagine, the you that you are to become, the you were destined to be. I always say we both need the positive and the negative. It's not enough to have the knowledge of the matter, but we must have the wisdom as well. For wisdom settles it. And that's what I want to offer you as you join me on the Coach's Corner. I want to offer you the wisdom of the matter. Maybe it might be relationships, talking about our campaigns for more, for life, the dark room of our subconscious, our spiritual journey. Whatever it is, I want to be there to encourage you, to build you, to challenge you, to cheer you on to the finish line. I'm qualified to do this. Why? Because I'm you. Well, thank you so very much for joining us for another edition of the Coach's Corner. I was trying to grab that coffee. Right? Well, we thank you so very much for joining us one time again, morning, noon, and night. We're here to make things all right. My name is Marcus Sillett, and surely I am here to talk about the things that I have learned from. Surely I have those issues personally and professionally, but I bring to the table the wisdoms from the scars of the journey of life, of which I trust that after I have shared from my heart, you will allow me to earn the right to speak into your life. Today, we're just going to talk briefly about some things just can never be repeated. Let me stop and say thank you so much to all of my listeners worldwide. Spreaker, iBroadcast TV, Twitter, Facebook, Spreaker, Shoutcast Radio, Blog Talk Radio, Ustream, YouTube. A lot of people are tuning in on YouTube. Don't forget, if you want to tune in on YouTube and you have some kind of device that doesn't enable anything else but YouTube, you can go to SIBN Atlanta and tune in to our shows there. All right, so thank you to everybody, man. Let's get right to it. Mr. Engineer, are you ready? Yes, sir. All right. Just very simply, some things can never be repeated. You know, we had shared about the emptiness of freedom and the fullness, seemingly, of bondage. And when we were sharing that, I thought about, how we want to go back. We want to go back because we're frustrated, we're agitated, we're inundated with so many details of the new way, the new journey, the new perspective, the new paradigm shift. It seems like that one task is connected to another, and it's connected to another group is connected to another sector is connected to another flowchart of another sector, groups of steps that you've got to take to make the thing sure, right, righteous, godly, whatever it is that you want to fill in the blank. The point of the matter is anything new moves us to much business. And there's this temptation, there's this thought, there's this waning thought, there's this aggregating thought, there's this frustrating thought, this, this contemplation almost. Or maybe I should. Heck to the no, double no, double hell no. Okay? We can't go back to the past. I was looking at my life chart based on my age, based on the life expectancy of those in my age group. And I only have so many decades, should the Lord be graceful, to get things done. I don't have time to go back and start over. I don't have time to go back and start over. Now, if you in your 20s, you know, you 15 years old, or you 21 or 32 or maybe 35, you know, you might be entertaining starting over with a new girl, starting over with a new business. I can't afford to keep and it's not even about starting over. It's just that some things can never be repeated, ever. They can never be considered. I mean, I know we're stressed. I know we're frustrated. I know we're agitated. I know we're combobulated. I know we're all of that, but we just cannot, we just cannot go back to certain things. We cannot afford the mistakes that ripple from what we came from. We cannot afford, oh my goodness. And as much as it seems that if I go back, it will be all right. I won't have this much pressure. I won't have this much frustration. I won't have this much agitation. I won't have this much to think about. It's so much when you're trying to do something new. It's so many things that you got to do. It's so many steps you got to take. It's so many ways you got to remember. It's just so much to forge a new path that you are tempted. Trust me when I tell you, you're tempted to say, you know what? But I'm like, you know, except the Lord build this house right here, it just won't get built. Except the Lord keep this city, it just won't be kept. The watchman waketh in vain. I am telling you, there are some things we can never revisit. I'm not talking about for the purposes of healing. I'm not talking about for the purposes of tranquility and gaining and securing inner peace. I'm not talking about for the purposes of increasing our magnet ability, our magnification, if you will. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about certain lifestyle habits. Now listen. And sometimes when you squash one end, it oozes on the other end. Well, we'll catch it on that end when it oozes, okay? We can only take one moment at a time. But I want you to know, and I want to stand with you, that some things, you have to determine what those some things are. Some people can never be in my inner circle ever again. Some ways of which you and I have performed in the business arena, whereas negotiations are involved, or whereas marketing and sales is involved, can never ever be repeated. Some things can never ever be repeated. You have maturated, you have grown, you have excelled, you have moved forward, and you can never go back to what once was derogatory, degrading, victimizing at best. Some things you and I can never repeat. Now we could do it. We got away with it. We got out by the skin of our teeth. However you want to classify it. But now is the time to make your declaration. Hence, somebody from the past is going to come up and try to sneak through the booth in the back and bring that same old crap. Try to introduce and reintroduce me to the same old past that I'm already familiar with, thinking that they running game. I need some help right there. As I plow forward, I promise myself, my legacy, I can never go back to where I once was, the way I once thought, the way I once operated. I must evolve. I must grow. I must excel every single day. And there are some things that can never be repeated as I forge ahead into a new future. I will, I shall, I must accomplish my life's mission, and I'm taking no prisoners, including my own self-centered excuses, punk behind reasons. I will succeed. I will. Don't get me started. This the coach. Follow me if you can.